White House Special Envoy Steve Witkoff traveling to Tel Aviv today, meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as U.S. and Israeli officials work to secure a ceasefire deal and return the hostages still held by Hamas. The White House saying that Witkoff will go into Gaza tomorrow morning along with U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. This will be to inspect food distribution and survey the conditions there. Now, in the last day alone, more than 100 Palestinians have been killed across the Gaza Strip. Most of them near those aid distribution centers. That is according to the Gaza Ministry of Health. ABC's Matt Rivers is joining me now with more on this. So, Matt, thank you for being here with us. First of all, what more do we think we can expect to really come out of this visit?
Well, I think both sides, or at least a lot of people, were looking at this visit and hoping that it might lead to, I don't know, the United States pushing Israel to somehow get to a permanent end to the war, at least get to a ceasefire. But we've got some information from an Israeli official with knowledge of how these talks went. And forgive me, Ken, I'm just going to refer to my notes here. The Israeli official meeting or telling ABC News that after meeting, both sides agree on the following: Hamas is the main obstacle to reaching a Gaza ceasefire. It's time to consider a ceasefire framework that frees all the hostages. Hamas must disarm, Gaza must be demilitarized, and Israel and the United States will work to increase aid into Gaza. Stop me if you have heard all of that before. There is nothing new about any of that stuff, and what you're not hearing there is there's a permanent end to war. There's a ceasefire on the table. What it seems like at this point is that this meeting really hasn't done much to move the ball forward.
It certainly hasn't. But again, if they go to survey some of these sites, it'll be interesting to see what the White House says, what they want to do with this $60 million. Do we expect any details like that to come out of this meeting?
Well, so far we haven't got much details about how they plan to ramp up aid. We could see that change tomorrow. What Witkoff is going to do is go to some of those aid distribution sites. The White House says he's going to talk to some local Gazans about the conditions on the ground here. And we have heard a change in position from the White House in terms of their willingness to call a crisis a crisis. There is hunger. There is a humanitarian crisis. You don't hear that from the Israeli government very much, but you are now hearing that from the White House. So it is striking that they are saying that out loud. But whether they can actually change that situation, whether this visit into Gaza actually changes anything, I think that remains to be seen.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The public change in rhetoric there. Also, Matt, it's our understanding that Israel's renewing strikes on several targets in Lebanon, including a missile production site. Do we know any details there?
This is what the IDF says is the largest precise missile production facility that Hezbollah has in Lebanon. And what this shows us is that despite a ceasefire being in place, Israel has maintained that it will continue to strike targets as it sees fit. And that is exactly what we're seeing there. What you're seeing essentially is an unrestrained Israeli government, an unrestrained IDF when it comes to attacking targets in southern Lebanon. Ceasefire agreements in place or not, they don't really care because they have denigrated the abilities of Hezbollah so much over the course of this war, really, that they are going to strike at will, and we're seeing that once again today.
All right, Matt Rivers, always good to have you here with us. Thank you.